So, we start our day, we start our game in sort of traveling south from the town of Blasingdell, and as last I checked, you were all traveling in a big group, yes? In the last game, you discovered a few things. One, that the orcs have arrived and have already attacked the town, and two, that a fair number of folks managed to still get away, hide in the woods, and you are sort of shepherding them south back to civilization so that they can get their wounds tended to and such. Maybe get some therapy, that sort of thing. It is, I believe, your goal, at least those of you who are still continuing with your characters, which would be Kreetha and Calder, I believe your eventual goal was to make your way down to Waterdeep, the Crown of the North, the City of Splendors. That is a several 100-mile journey.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the map. Here we are on the Sword Coast. I'm sharing this with all of you so that you can hopefully be able to see it.
Yeah.
Where I have marked SC is where the Sunless Citadel is, and FF as where the Forge of Fury is. You can see why Meepo was concerned a little bit about a seemingly endless swarm of orcs heading south. Not something that he wanted to mess around with.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do any last role play that you wanted to do before folks part ways, and then decide how are you getting from the north to Waterdeep. What's up, Gail?
I mean, well, one, I wanted to know, do we have a vague location on this map where Casa de Hyacinth is? And
Casa de Hyacinth is probably closer to Silvery Moon.
So off to the east, yeah.
Like, probably not yet in the Evermoors, but like east of Longsaddle.
Gotcha.
Nearish the Lurkwood area. I
do need to make one small retcon because I've just looked at this map for the first time in a while, and the dwarves of Barnabas's clan are over in Citadel Adbar, which is on the far east, almost east coast, or I'm sorry, east before the high ice.
Yeah, I see
It's gonna be a while before they get to the Stone Tooth. So yes, the two scouting dwarves were still there because magic exists, but the actual main dwarven army will probably take several weeks to get there. And they will find a well-entrenched orcish force when they do, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it because we are walking away from that particular conflict for the time being. Yeah.
So then we probably escorted the people at least past the River Mirabar.
Yeah, which is what my character was doing. We had not actually done a scene yet where I had been asked to go with Calder.
Yeah.
I will say that I am only taking for Kreetha half of the money that was granted to Clarion because I'm giving the rest to Clarion's family.
Yeah. So if my recollection be correct, the Hyacinth is from this middle-ish area, and Clarion was also from that same general area.
Yeah.
And then Calder was
I am
east.
I am on the opposite. Calder's homeland is the opposite side of this bloody continent. So
yeah.
Whereabouts do you have a place? I can zoom in on it.
Never. Oh no, it's not in the Sword Coast.
Got it.
It's
way
edge of
east. Yeah.
It's past that ocean on the far that massive ocean on the far right.
Got it.
Meanwhile, Charlotte's family's probably up near Citadel Felbar. Yeah.
That said, that's his homelands. The territory that Calder probably calls home is probably closer to Cormanthor.
And Lore's family is around in the Star Mounts area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think Kreetha's area is on here.
No,
because she would be. She's they'd be on the main continent, but they'd be from originally from Chult.
Near to Chult.
Chult is super south from here.
Super south.
Yeah, Chult is like equatorial, although I don't know if Faerun's actually or if Toral's actually a globe.
Toral is a globe.
So yeah, probably somewhere around the equator.
Yeah, think about swampland south of the Forest of Tether.
Yeah.
So.
Toral is a they took Earth in its rotation, size, and location in comparison to the sun and went to the continents.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
That is 100% what they did.
Yeah, that's totally what it looks like.
So most things, like seasons and whatnot, it's Earth-like. Good to know.
So it seems like
it has the exact same climate as our Earth probably like 40-50 years ago, before like a lot of the weird global warming just started happening.
As opposed to where you're at right now, which is kind of the borderline where it goes from it's just kind of cold in the winter to it's ice all the time, right? You can look at the colors on the map and be like, yeah,
way prefers to be underground than in this bullshit.
It's definitely a good thing that you went to the forge like in this. I believe we said that we were in early autumn. Yeah. I think we said that sometime during the forge. So like it's starting to get cold here, but you're not going to get snowed in yet. Now I'm looking at the map. There are two ways that you can get to the river. Are you heading east or west along Blackford Road before you cross the river?
Probably east to Mirabar, since we know we're also going to be heading towards Hyacinth's place, right?
Yeah, and because you can technically take, like, you know, after you get through the Sword Mountains, like if we split at Long Saddle, the long road goes straight down to Waterdeep, so it's like, without the chance of fucking pirates.
That's true. Not gonna say that I didn't plan for, or I'm not gonna say that I planned for you all to maybe take a ship down the coast.
And then we're just gonna teleport there because why not?
I found a map of Faerun and I just found Chulton. Woof.
Yeah.
Down to Long Saddle, split at Long Saddle, Caldern Creek that continues south along the road.
Yeah, and then Charlotte and Lore and some of the people will probably come with just because we can harbor them, would probably go like overland.
Like
there's no highways, there's probably roads.
Yeah, there will definitely be roads.
I can see them.
So on the way from Blasingdell to Mirabar, you are towing several dozen civilians, some of whom are very seriously injured, some of whom are dealing with pretty serious trauma. I'm going to go top to bottom and ask what each character is doing during this first leg of the journey. Once you get to Mirabar, you'll be able to find help for these people, but I want to know what you all are up to on that journey. It's a fairly lengthy bit. It'll take, like, if you're going to push it, let me take a quick look at the scale to make sure I'm not talking out my ass. Of course, the map chooses this moment to freeze.
Like the average person can walk like 20 to 40 miles a day, depending on how much they're walking. So
this is, we'll call it
injured or large groups.
So this is about a 30 or 35 mile walk.
So it's like 2-3 days.
So you're probably looking at least a couple of days, depending on how fast you're going. And again, you do have carts to carry some of the most wounded, so you don't have to go super duper slow. But I'm going to start at the top. Jen, Creetha has been one of the folks who has been showing the most compassion outwardly up to this point. I remember her immediate priority the first time she saw all these folks was to go around and try to help the wounded. What is Creetha up to, and Stinky, on the way out to Mirabar?
Creetha is still doing her best to help the wounded. If there is not enough room on carts and people need breaks, she is offering them a chance to ride on Stinky, which I'm sure is a real interesting experience for these people. She is doing her best to also look along sides of the road for anything that could be used for medicine. She doesn't know very much about herbs or anything, certainly from this area in particular, but if she sees anything really super like common, she might just be trying to make like a cool poultice for somebody here or there, not so much that she's versed in medicine so much as she's versed in being able to cover her own wounds
Go
with
ahead.
here and there.
Go ahead and give me a nature check.
Which, funny enough, she does not have nature, so this is probably not
This
going
is
to
not
go
the
well.
first time we've had this conversation, I think.
Yeah, but we'll try it.
Yeah, no problem. Let me move the map a little bit so that I can actually see the results.
Hey,
We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so it looks like you got, it was a straight roll, but you got a 16. Yeah, you're able to find, at the very least, you're able to find a patch of grass that has an antiseptic quality to it, and also kind of numbs pain a little bit. It's not magic, but it is definitely something that eases suffering as the traveling happens. Quick question, do we have any healing magic on board?
Meepo does.
Meepo does. Okay.
Technically, yes.
Okay.
I have something that gives temporary HP now.
I mean healing. So we'll talk about Meepo in a bit because he will be splitting off much earlier than everyone else, because as you can see, the Sunless Citadel is more or less due south. So he's going to split off from you all more or less once you hit the road. But we'll get to him in a second.
I mean, would he come to Mirabar with us since it's the easiest crossing of the river?
Possibly. Meepo works in mysterious ways. Remember, Kobold, he's not necessarily going to think, let's go to the population center. Regardless,
Let's go to the lobby.
Laura's still with us at the moment because she's going to split off a little bit further south. What is she up to while you're heading to Mirabar? And I know you didn't expect to be in lore mindset, but what do you got?
We're walking.
Like,
makes sense to me.
Laura's well educated, probably knows the landmarks and stuff to look out for on the road to Mirabar.
Like, but generally it's like, other than that, it's mostly just part of the group is walking. This is like
yeah, and you've got like Clarion's mule, you got Pretty Foot with, and
Laura's probably riding Pretty Foot.
Calder, you had a horse, right?
And a carriage. I actually shelled out for it.
Those did survive the massacre. Good. So you do have your horse, you have your carriage, you are able to travel in style. What is Calder up to? Before Meepo parts off, that sort of time.
I imagine Calder's been spends his time he has been doing retraining to accommodate his growing mystical power, because he leveled up, and that's how magic is supposed to be in Faerun. He's more or less coming to grips with his brand new power set and trying to understand it. So just aside from that, anytime he's not doing that, he's probably on some kind of patrol, using his making sure that his sickle is available at the perimeter to make sure that the camp doesn't get surprised.
And then Gail, did you want to talk Charlotte for half a second?
So here's an interesting thing. So the spell Unseen Servant is a ritual spell. It's not concentration, and it doesn't say within the spell that there's a limit to it. So Charlotte is every 10 minutes popping out another Unseen Servant to help carry people along and keep the animals in order, and keep injured people inside the carts and the carriages, bring them water, dab off their foreheads. Charlotte's just running this army of invisible Unseen Servants.
Can you have more than one?
Yeah, there's lore and material that suggests that there are multiple ways of keeping these things going, because they're very basic. They're going to be done as a ritual. So
Charlotte's just popping out,
weird,
they
weird
left
invisible ghosts that help
every
people.
10 minutes. Yeah, just like it's
Poor Creetha's like,
so Charlotte is probably sitting in a part of a cart, just like concentrating on doing all of this for most of like the day travel into the night, setting up camp, that sort of thing.
And Meepo does expend his healing, both his healing spells and his hand laying. So as the caravan
I
continues,
forgot, I have Goodberry.
excellent.
I could
Yes,
be using
okay.
Goodberry as part of those poultices and feeding
Yes.
them that. Yes.
100%. Yeah, between Meepo's magic and Goodberry, by the time you get to Mirabar, you don't really have a caravan of wounded anymore. Because Goodberry heals HP. Meepo is able to do his stuff both with spells and with lay on hands. Yeah. So at the very beginning, you've got a lot of walking wounded. You've got a lot of folks who really need to be on the cart. And as you sort of start with the worst cases first and sort of dole out the magic as you have it, by the time you get to Mirabar, you've got a bunch of folks who are very tired, who are very hungry, but are not overtly wounded. Just very, very tired. Just very tired. So you get to Mirabar. And from there, we're not going to do a gigantic, like, in Mirabar scene. Is there anything anyone wants to do while in that city? There are caravans that go south along the road. Some of them are hiring caravan guards. Or you could just take a walk. What are we up to while you're in Mirabar?
I mean, this would probably be a good time to fence the gemstones and similar loot.
100%. Is there a particular person who's taking care of getting rid of that stuff? Because there's going to be a check involved there.
I think Calder should. He's, probably has the most experience with hawking wares. I don't know.
Sure, we'll
what
call
would
him.
be the skill?
Honestly, it would be some sort of charisma check, and it should be 2 of us. So I could basically, so I can get 8 another, I get a hype man, and
100%. Yeah, let's cheese it up.
God,
Yeah. Yeah, we coordinate the sale beforehand, and we basically are just going to like hype up the value of these wares.
Totally, absolutely.
Hype.
So in the end, it's going to be either a persuasion or a deception check, depending on how exactly you're going about hyping up these wares.
Well, I do have deception as a class.
Yeah, I have deception as well, but I have very little.
I have probably have much better, so we'll go with that.
I can aid.
Yes,
yeah, 8
absolutely,
other-
which will give advantage.
Yep. So, with that in mind, and it rolled, and then nothing happened.
I do not see anything. You are correct.
I hate when it does that.
There we are. Oh, come on!
Wow.
Ah.
Wow.
My aid
Wow.
was bad.
The subtitles are cropped again. I noticed it right away this time, though.
Yeah, it's a
because we're in
plus
different
6, so
ones.
it's the total is 13, but still.
Okay, so the total is 13.
That was just disappointing.
Okay.
It's funny though.
I will say that you'll be able to get 50% of the book value on a 13. So I'm going to go ahead and, if I can, there we go. Which is still, I mean, you pull.
Wait, why are you selling my lady?
Oh, I should not. I just hit
I
the.
turn around and like.
No, that doesn't get sold.
no,
That's fine. It's still there. When I hit the button, it just automatically like auto sold everything
And his
except for the
flute?
magic stuff.
Yeah,
It's just
no.
a flute. You can
it's-
get a
You
flute
it's
sold
fine.
anywhere.
you sold his signet
Go-
ring. You sold his flute.
Go
you
into
sold his
items.
Lady.
Get the thing back. It's fine.
Could you not sell all of Clarion's stuff?
I've decided I'm
That
going to
said-
sell all of Clarion's stuff.
It's what he would have wanted. And meanwhile, his
What he
ghost
would
is
have
yelling in
wanted,
your ear,
exactly.
"No, don't do that."
Sometimes
Oh
I can.
my God.
Sometimes I can still hear him.
That would be a reason for him to
Oh,
come back from the
man.
grave.
Okay. So after fencing and haggling and kind of getting that you're not going to make a fool of me kind of treatment, you do pull in a tidy 1,200 plus gold pieces off of what you've got. Should I just go ahead? No, I'm going to ask before I hit the button. Should I just go ahead and disperse those?
I have no strong preference. I'm more concerned with making sure that we save the items we care about.
Yes. Those are still with you. It's fine. I'll even give you the gold for them, even because I don't feel like figuring out how much they were and subtracting that much.
Yeah, it's not letting me move. It's not letting me grab the item, dude.
Okay, hold on.
Oh no.
Items. Okay, so loot.
Signet
Oh,
ring,
And
flute.
the flute.
Flute. Signet
we
ring.
prob-
You can change the name of it once it's in your
Yeah,
inventory.
partially digested fine clothing.
Signet ring, flute, and my lady, the lute.
fine clothing, gently used.
Well,
And
don't
also
forget
dirty
about the
foot.
fact that my lady, the lute, is also actually
There-
a bashing club.
Yes. The-
So it didn't sell as a lute; it sold as a club.
The clothes are just faded to a fashionable degree now because they are acid washed.
Oh no!
Yes.
They have
yes.
rips
You chose
in,
me as your DM. Deal with your choices.
What were you saying, Em?
And also they have rips in certain areas
Tasteful.
that show like just a little bit of skin.
It's a
Skin
new
of
style.
who? He doesn't have any skin.
Okay. I've
You're
distributed.
right, I took that off.
I've distributed gold. So you should now.
I grabbed them in my inventory. I have my lady. I have the signet ring, and I have the flute.